Q, we also have another team in town that is darn good and trying to get to 3-0 this weekend against the Los Angeles Rams. But, it would help to win the game this weekend and win all the games if their passing offense picks it up, a little bit. Because the first couple games have not been good in terms of passing game, especially on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we hear from A.J. Brown at his locker on Sunday after the game? Because A.J., this caught my attention and almost felt like he was giving all of us permission to talk about, the elephant in the room, which is the passing game. Here's A.J. after the game.
You guys found a way to win. I guess it wasn't pretty. It is back in Philadelphia. They'll probably talk about the inefficiency of the offense. But, how can you describe what it's like to have winning plays or, for those who maybe not understand it? It may not look pretty, but you still find a way to win.
I think the goal is to win the game. So, no matter what that looks like, I think the reason why people may talk about it because they want to know if it's substantial, can you sustain that throughout the season? So, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing to talk about. But, our job is continue to try to find a way to win. So.
Well, there's A.J. Brown saying it is a fair thing to talk about, so let's talk about it, Hugh. The passing game through 2 weeks. Yards per attempt, 26th. Yards, 32nd. Passer rating, 21st. Passes, 20-plus yards, 32nd. Passing touchdowns, they have 0, so they are 32nd. Hugh, is the passing game a big deal?
This is a two-pronged question, Joe.
Yes or no?
I mean, I know you want me to answer yes or no. They're 2-0. That's how I have to answer it.
Okay.
So, in the fact that they've won 2 games with the lack of a passing game is pretty impressive, if you ask me. Now, if the question was, is it sustainable? I don't think so. I don't think so because when you talk about the NFL and, listen, the L.A. Chargers look like they might be a pretty darn good football team.
Yeah, we got them later on the schedule this year, too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They look – and Justin Herbert looks like he's comfortable in what he's doing. They was throwing the ball all over the schoolyard, and that defense looks aggressive and smothering. So I hear what you're saying, and I understand the question that you're asking. But the bottom line is this. They're 2-0. And if you said, okay, can you do this for the whole season? No, I don't think so.
Well,
I took the long term.
You did take the long term. You know what I heard through that? It's not a big deal for now, but it is a big deal. It is a big deal.
It's because, and let me just tell you, and this is not me trying to Ryan Clark anybody, but no, I'm just saying I got to say that.
And it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, because it's like it's the mentality and the philosophy is different when you're a part of the culture. You know what I mean? So you look at it you take it for face value.
Sure.
Hey, we got to win.
Yeah.
And you look at it like, well, damn, we can't sustain this. We'll worry about that next week. We'll worry about that this week when we're getting ready for the game against the Rams. But we know in the back of your mind that was not a Super Bowl winning effort.
No question. And I'm sure we're going to hear today, hey, you guys did this last year, the passing. But what I think is different is last year, when you look at some of the numbers, they were efficient. They just weren't productive much, right? Like their yards per attempt was very high last year. Jalen's passer rating was very good last year. Like when they threw it last year, as the season went on, they could have success in moments. Through the first couple games, it's very little success. I mean, Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback in the NFL, only starting quarterback with 0 passing touchdowns through 2 weeks. That almost feels impossible. They're basically bottom of the NFL in all these categories through 2 weeks, and you could say, all right, they played the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs, good defense, at home, in Arrowhead. That's a tough spot. The Cowboys defense that was here in week 1 might stink. I mean, the Russell Wilson, who looks cooked, threw for 450 on them. So that stood out to me. I do think this is a big deal. It's something they have to clean up. Donovan McNabb was on with the afternoon show yesterday, and Spike asked about the passing game, and I thought this part of his answer was really interesting in terms of it's got to be better, and based on the way it looks, there should be completions here, and we're just not getting them. Here's Donovan yesterday.
So we've got to be able to take those intermediate routes as well as the quick game to be able to establish the downfield passing game with our offense. And I think when I watch the game, I look back and I'm like, well, first of all, Jalen's got a lot of time in the pocket, but I'm like, it should not take that long for us to go through our reads and find somebody to come open in the passing game. So I just think where's the timing, passing combinations where We're throwing off our back foot, 5-step plant, 3-step plant. I just don't see that right now with us throwing with rhythm in the passing game.
Hugh, I thought that was a really interesting perspective from Donovan, because if you listen through it, there's parts of it where I feel like he is, in a way, being critical of Jalen, and also in parts of it, critical of the design of the offense. Like, he's saying, Jalen's holding the ball that long, someone's got to be open.
Yeah, and that is the way you should look at it. You know, Donovan's not lying when he sees what he sees, because, you know, he played the position.
Right.
You have to improve on that every week. The only saving grace in this situation is the fact that you're 2-0. Because if you were 1-1 and we saw that performance last week that you had, the conversation would be different. And that's a fact. To your point, you have to the passing game has to evolve. It has to.
You know what I hear when I hear you say that? And you're right, they are 2-0. 2 years ago, they were 10-1. Mm-hmm. And the defense was towards the bottom of the NFL in a lot of categories. And we were like, well, they're 10-1. And the bottom fell. Now, this offense has more talent than that defense did, so this should get better. But we did do that 2 years ago. We had a defense that was towards the bottom of all the categories. You're like, oh, doesn't look right. And then they got into the late part of the season, and they got smacked. So, they need to get better very quickly. I think you used the right word. I think AJ used it too. It's not sustainable to throw for 100 yards and win games.
And you know, the guys know that, but you also know. See, this is where you have to temper everything and take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, you are 2-0. And when you talk about this team, I remember, what was it, when the Chiefs were going for their second Super Bowl? Was it that the year where everybody thought they had Patrick Mahomes figured out and it was somewhat of a slog? It has the potential to be that. And here's the thing. We're 2 weeks in, and this team is still trying to find their identity. And you look around the league, and I know it's hard because I'm watching the game last night, and you see other teams look like they're in sync as far as their passing game is going.
Well, yes, that's a great point to bring up.
You know what I mean? And I know that's the point that you were bringing up yesterday, Joe. We're on a different path. And, you know, people got a little bit upset with me when I said yesterday, well, they've played longer than other teams. There's something to that. You know, when you talk about no, I mean it is. All jokes aside, I know you don't want to hear, but there's something to that. There's something to that, and the ebb and flow of the game, I think, is a part of it too. I think that what's going on is twofold. What we know about our quarterback is this: he tends to get off to a slow start. I think that's kind of evident since I've been here. These first couple of games, the beginning of the season, they're kind of similar when you talk about the performances of Jalen Hurts. And then when you look at his performances in the last few years, he doesn't really throw the ball a whole lot in the first half of the season, the first few games of the season. You go back and look at the numbers on that. And I think that's him just getting comfortable with the concepts and everything.
Yeah, I don't need him to throw the ball 40 times. I need them to be
just
better.
Need to be efficient.
Yeah, right. Like I know what they are. They're going to run it a lot. He's going to throw it 20 to 25 times. I'm good. But I need them to be a better passing offense when they throw the football. Right now, Jalen Hurts is 27th in yards per attempt. That's just not going to work. I mean, they need to be better at throwing the football here. 215-592-9494. All right, let's celebrate the Phillies today. And is this passing game a big deal? Kyle, what are you feeling? A.J. Brown, to me, gave us all permission to have the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, everybody. But Cliche Douglas is going to put me in an early grave over there.
Well, before you go on, early running for a top seed in the tournament next year.
Goodness.
Cliche Douglas is a star.
If I have to hear they're 2-0 one more time, I'm going to lose it. I'm sorry. We're talking out of both sides of our mouth here. We had a conversation. Is it okay if the Eagles start 2-2 and you're, it's a marathon, not a sprint. They were 2-2 last year. Who cares if they're 2-0? If they're sustainable, if it's sustainable is the only thing that should matter for everybody right now. If we're going to cut out the first 4 games, it's preseason, this and that, then the record I don't care about. I want to know what the team looks like. Yeah. The passing offense looks awful. Looks like garbage. It does. And A.J. Brown is already down bad. This guy's moping after every single game in the locker room, complaining about the passing game. Everybody knows that this looks like one of the worst passing games in the league right now. So whether the fact that they can sustain it for the rest of the season, that's the only thing that should matter to anybody right now.
I don't talk like that, by the way. I don't appreciate that.
I think cliche Douglas is at least a top 4 seed.
I
At least.
I can't take it.
I don't talk like that. I don't appreciate that.
He's not wrong. I mean, you 2-0'd us. You 2-0'd us.
Listen.
Forget Ryan Clark at someone. You 2-0'd us.
Because we are 2-0.
I don't care.
Would you rather be the Chiefs or us? Yeah, I know.
The Eagles. They're better than the Chiefs. Didn't we just establish that in the Super Bowl and last week?
I'm trying to explain to you the best. Y'all just don't want to hear what I got to say today, like it is every other day.
So, I'm going to cliche you. Some wise man once said the standard is the standard.
It always rises.
It always rises,
and you're right.
Yep.
And he has to play
Then
better.
why is
what
our
are we
passing
talking about
getting
here?
worse?
Well,
Forget rising. We are going backwards.
You see, I don't think it's worse, Joe. I think it's stagnant.
This isn't worse than last year passing-wise?
Joe, I thought we weren't living in the past.
It's not worse than week 1? Was week 2 better or worse than week 1?
Wait a minute, Joe. We only 34 minutes into the show, and you're already perturbed.
Stand up.
I might stand up today. I might stand up.
You're already perturbed.
Was last week better or worse than week 1?
Wait a minute, huh?
Was the passing game in week 2 we're supposed to get better, right? We're progressing. Was the passing game better in week 2 than week 1 or worse?
Hold up,
Now,
Joe.
this is an easy question.
Wait a minute.
It was worse.
We played a better defense.
Yeah. Okay.
That is not filibuster.
Oh, hold on. You know what we're going to play? You know what we're going to play the rest of this season?
What?
A really tough schedule.
No, this weekend, I'll say this. It feels like we're going to have to throw the ball. It feels like we're going to have to score a lot of points. You know, with this LA team coming in, the Rams?
Yes.
The Rams coming into town. It feels like we're going to have to score a lot of points. So I think that you better get it going quickly.
Yes.
You got to get it going quickly because it's going to be one of those ones where, hold on to the ball and not throwing to your open receivers. The dam might break. Might break.
Here's the one good thing. Now, they're 2-0, so they can say that. I do think it's pretty obvious that they have to fix it, right? Like it's not. It's one thing if the passing offense has been okay, you're like, it's been okay, we'll get better. Sunday was pretty rough, so they have to stare it in the face this week. Sirianni's mentioned
you know you dodged the bullet.
Yeah,
you know you dodged the bullet.
Of course you did.
You look at there's a handful of plays in that game that you look at and be like, ooh, could have been different.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Different.